underground. They're buried, and we're watching them 24/7. So we know it's the North Korea strategy. You know this very well. Who are you cheering for here? Who are you pulling for? Shame on you for that statement.
You need to resign immediately.
Did you advise the president that we should attack Iran?
We know. Wait.
United States military can do
efforts.
That's exactly it. Is this war shaping up to be that war? Because it has
intel.
Stop.
Based on the intel.
Stop.
We have never seen a secretary at the Department of War who has been as innovative as you have. So I can't say enough good things about you right now. I was impressed. Everything I have seen, you have surpassed all of my expectations.
I don't believe in my lifetime I've witnessed this level of rebirth and hardcore focus that I'm witnessing out of the Pentagon right now.
All right, committee will come to order. Without objection.
So approximately at this day, we're spending about $25 billion on Operation Epic Fury. Most of that is munitions.
So you're saying the full cost at this point is $25 billion?
Yeah, that's our estimate for the cost.
Okay, interesting, because I'm glad you answered that question, because we've been asking for a hell of a long time, and no one's given us the number.
You're saying it's a gotcha question to ask?
And ultimately,
my impression is you thanked him by
President Trump threatened to destroy Iran's bridges and power plants, writing, quote, "Open the straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch." And 2 days later, President Trump wrote, quote, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. Do you believe that the president is mentally stable enough to be the commander-in-chief?"
did you ask the same question of Joe Biden for 4 years?
Mr. Secretary, Joe Biden is not the president. Mr. Trump has been president for a year and a half, and I'm asking you
did
right
not,
now.
and I won't even engage with the level of disparagement that you're putting on the commander-in-chief, who indeed is.
Mr. Secretary,
every single day.
Mr. Secretary, Biden is not the president.
Sharpest, most insightful commander-in-chief we've had in generations. You want to ask that question after you and your fellow Democrats defended Joe Biden, who could barely speak and didn't know what day of the week it was?
As you know.
Or what happened with the debacle and the withdrawal in Afghanistan, where the troops were left. How did you explain that with Joe Biden's leadership?
Mr. Secretary,
how did you explain that to the Marines that didn't get medals? That we restored their medals because of that disastrous withdrawal in Afghanistan. Did you explain that to your constituents? When Joe Biden was asleep at the wheel and he had an AWOL Secretary of Defense? I don't think you did. Your hatred for president, a 2-month mission, is who are you cheering for here? Who are you pulling for?
You know how much it will cost Americans in terms of their increased cost in gas and food over the next year because of the Iran war?
I would simply ask you what the cost is of an Iranian nuclear bomb.
I'm going to give you that opportunity.
I would simply ask you what you're playing gotcha questions about domestic things.
You're saying it's a gotcha question to ask what it's going to be in terms of the increase.
Why won't you answer what it costs to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear bomb?
I give you that, sir. But let me.
What would it cost? What would you pay to ensure Iran doesn't get a nuclear bomb?
Do you not know? You had no one do the analysis of what the increased cost of gas and food on the American people are going to be?
We have an incredible economic team that's managing this better than what the previous administration did to our economy. What the previous administration did with inflation.
You know what's upsetting?
The administration did with COVID, and you're going to lecture this administration about the economy?
You know what is upsetting?
Incredible.
You didn't even do the analysis on how much it's costing the American people. It's one thing if you said, okay, it costs the American people $5,000, but we think it's worth it. You don't even know what the average American is paying. You know what I'm sad for? I'm sad for all the people who voted for Trump. I'm sad for them because you betrayed them. You betrayed a lot of that MAGA base. And you know who knows that? J.D. Vance knows that.
You have been lying to the American public about this war from day one, and so has the president. You have misled the public about why we are at war. The strategy has been an astounding incompetence. The president has got himself and America stuck in the quagmire of another war in the Middle East. He's desperately trying to extricate himself from his own mistakes.
The way you stain the troops when you tell them 2 months in, Congressman, you should know better. Shame on you. Calling this a quagmire 2 months in. Call it a quagmire, handing propaganda to our enemies. Shame on you for that statement. Who are you cheering for here? Who are you pulling for? You sit there and go on TV for your clickbait about quagmires. Your hatred for President Trump blinds you to the truth of the success of this mission and the historic stakes that the president is addressing, which the American people support.
Did you advise the president that we should attack Iran?
We never talk about what we would advise the president to do or not.
Do you think the president or deserves more?
I've been in every meeting.
I understand
with
that,
the chairman
Mr.
and everybody else.
I'm just asking what your perspective is. Are you afraid to take ownership of this? Do you think it was a good idea or not?
As I've consulted the president, do I think it's a good idea to confront a nuclear bomb
to start this
in the
war?
hands of the? Imagine what the world would look like right now if Iran had a nuclear weapon.
Okay, so let's just
imagine.
Which, by the way,
if they had one, which the
previous
Obama
administration, including the first Trump administration, prevented them from having a nuclear weapon. So, how is this war going? Do you think we're winning?
Militarily on the battlefield, it's been an astounding military success.
No, but are we winning the war?
Absolutely.
Okay, so do you call Iran closing the Strait of Hormuz winning?
I would say the blockade that we hold that doesn't allow anything to come in or out of Iranian ports.
Okay, so we've blockaded their blockade. So they blockaded us, and then we blockaded their blockade. That's like saying, tag, you're it. Or, you know, if President Madison had said, well, the British just burned down Washington, but don't worry, we're going to burn it down as well.
We had to start this war, you just said, 60 days ago, because the nuclear weapon was an imminent threat.
They had not given up their nuclear ambitions, and they had a conventional shield of thousands of
So Operation Midnight Hammer accomplished
moment,
nothing of substance. It left us at exactly the same place we were before.
Their facilities were bombed and obliterated. Their ambitions continued.
All right, let me try again.
It's the North Korea strategy. You know this very well. The North Korea strategy was use conventional missiles to prevent anybody from challenging them so they could slow walk their way to a weapon. President Trump saw Iran at its weakest moment to ensure their conventional shield.
Our soldiers describing the devastating Iranian drone strike at Port Shuaibah March 1st in Kuwait. As you know, 6 of our soldiers killed, over 30 wounded. Before the war started, there was clear intelligence that Shuaibah was high on Iran's target list. Internal analysis had said the site was indefensible from aerial attack and should not be used. Yet you sent our soldiers from the 103rd Sustainment Command there anyway. Is that true or false? True or false? Straightforward question.
Are you going to give me a chance to answer or just play gotcha?
Did you send them there or not? 6 of our soldiers are dead. The next day, you downplayed the attack. You said it was a squirter that squeaked through fortified defenses. Thankfully, brave survivors have come forward to set the record straight, unprepared to provide any defense for itself. It was not a fortified position. Another survivor said the building's protection was about as weak as one gets. Our soldiers who survived this horrific attack are lying?
What I'm saying is before the commencement of the conflict, we put in maximum defensive posture we could. We moved 7,500 troops off of the X based on the intel.
Stop.
Based on the intel.
Stop. You need to resign immediately.
I'm asking you whether you think they're liars or not.
You
That's what I asked you.
You are disparaging me that I don't care about the passing of our troops.
Nope. I asked if you thought they're liars, Terry.
That's disparaging and smearing in every way. Nobody cares more about the fate of our troops. Nobody cares about the health of our troops.
Mr. Secretary,
nobody wants to bring them all hope more than I do.
I understand, but he controls the time. He controls the time. You get to control your answer.
If we're allowed to answer.
I got to ask, has there ever been any time that you disagree with the president on this war or anything in general?
I would never betray conversations that we've had.
You can't even acknowledge that you've ever even disagreed with the man. Like,
I've never relayed the discussions I had with the commander-in-chief.
We need someone who's going to be there that is actually advising, that is also pushing back when necessary and serving the country as opposed to the president. You ever said the words, Mr. President, I disagree with you?
As I said, I don't relay the private conversations that a commander-in-chief deserves.
They want to say something about the large leadership.